All right, future CPAs, let's jump right into a topic that you are absolutely 100% guaranteed to see on the LSUC PA, the lump sum stock issuance. So, picture this. A company decides to bundle up different kinds of stock like ordinary and preference shares and sells them for one single price. It's a really common move here in the Philippines to get cash in the door fast, but it creates this little accounting puzzle that we are going to solve together right now. So, here's the core of the problem. Your company just got a big pile of cash for a mix of different shares, but the cash is all in one pot. Now, for your statement of financial position, you can't just report one number. You have to show a separate value for each class of share. So, how in the world do you split that single bundle price accurately? Nailing this is totally key to acing your exams. Okay, so you might be thinking this is going to involve some crazy complicated formulas, but I've got good news. Solving this isn't about complex math at all. It all boils down to asking yourself one simple but really powerful question right from the start. This question is your key. It unlocks exactly which accounting method you have to use. And this is it. This is the only question that matters. How many of the securities have a known, reliable fair market value? That's all you need to ask. Do you know the market price for just one of the stock types or for both of them? Because your answer is going to send you down one of two very, very different paths. So the biggest takeaway here is always check for the market values first. And here are those two paths, right here. Think of it like a fork in the road. In scenario A, you're in a great spot. You know the fair market value for both the ordinary and the preference shares. In scenario B, things are a little different. Maybe only one of them is actively traded, so you only have the fair market value for that one. Each scenario has its own playbook, so let's break down exactly how to handle them. Let's start with path 1, which is what we do when you know the market value of both securities. In this case, we use what's officially called the relative fair value method. But to make it stick in your head, I just call it the fair share approach, because that's literally what we're doing, giving each stock its fair share of the cash based on what it's worth. The logic here is just common sense, really. According to our standards, like the PFRS, you just allocate the total cash you got, that basket price, proportionally. So if one stock is worth, say, twice as much as the other one on the market, it gets double the slice of the cash received. Makes perfect sense, right? And the calculation is super straightforward. Seriously, it's just 3 steps. First, just add up the market values of the 2 stocks to get one grand total. Second, you create a simple fraction for each stock. And third, you multiply that fraction by the total cash the company received. And boom, that's it. You've allocated the price. Done. Okay, path 1 was pretty easy. Now what about path 2? What happens when you only know the fair market value of one of the securities? Well, this is where the residual method comes into play. And you can just think of this one as the what's left over approach. And believe it or not, it's even simpler than the first one. It's really just a process of elimination. You take the total cash that came in, and first, you assign the known market value to the stock it belongs to. You just carve that piece out. Whatever cash is left over, the residual, is automatically, no questions asked, assigned to the other security. I mean, it really doesn't get simpler than this. It's basically one subtraction problem. You take the total bundle price, you subtract the one market value that you do know, and the answer, well, that's the value you assign to the other stock. It's direct, it's fast, and it's perfectly acceptable under accounting standards. And here is the perfect way to lock this into your memory forever. Think of it like buying a combo meal. You know for a fact the fries cost 50 pesos. The price of the burger isn't on the menu, but the whole meal costs 150. You instantly, without even thinking, know the burger must have cost 100 pesos. You just did the residual method in your head. It's exactly the same concept. Okay, so we've walked through the 2 paths. But the real question is, how do you make sure this information actually sticks around? Not just for your next quiz, but for the board exams in a few years. Let's dive into some retention hacks to really lock this knowledge in. This right here is your mental cheat sheet. You need to burn this into your brain. If you know both market values, you use the relative method. Just think fair share. If you know only one market value, you use the residual method. Think what's left over. And it all starts with that one single question. How many market values do I know? That's the trigger for your entire process. And here are some real pro tips to study smart, not just hard. Don't just reread your notes. You gotta get active. Make 2 simple flashcards, one for relative, one for residual. Drill yourself with actual problems from your review books. And here's the ultimate hack. I swear by this. Teach this concept to a friend. The absolute best way to make sure you know something inside and out is to explain it to someone else. All right, time for a final check. Let's put this to the test right now. Here's the scenario. A company gets 500,000 pesos for a stock bundle. You look at the problem and you see that only the preference shares have a known market value, which is 200,000. So, which method do you use, relative or residual? The answer should be instant. And if you got it right away, you've totally mastered this. You now have the framework to solve any lump sum problem they throw at you.